So I left my home today with a backpack and a big knife inside with the intention of ending my life. Because of the suffering I've been through for many years, um, and I went to the beach. I found a place that there was no one around, but then I started to notice simple things like the wind blowing into my skin or the visuals of the all that green nature or the sound of the waves crashing in the sand and and I started to think like I think it's not worth to end life. I think it's not worth to stop living. I think life is like I came to the conclusion that life is worth living for whatever reason that makes you feel good. It can be anything. It could be, like I said, it could be the simple sounds of the beach waves crashing in the sand, or the sun touching your skin, warming up your skin, or a sandwich, or anything that makes you feel good is good enough reason to keep living. If you stop to think about the reasons to live, you can say that life is completely meaningless, and that's not entirely a lie. It has some truth in it, but it also means that you can give whatever meaning you want to life. So you can decide to live for whatever it is that makes you feel good. It could be sitting in your couch and seeing your mom or your wife or your kids, talking to them, interacting to them. It could be the coffee you drink when you wake up, a fulfilling job you have, or some hobby that you do every day that you find fun to do. Whatever it is that makes you feel good. And that's the conclusion I had when I was there. I was really close to ending my life, and I'm not gonna say I'm completely healed. I still feel pretty depressed and I still have social anxiety. I find it complicated to approach people and any social interaction. I still feel like it's very complicated to me. But I don't really have the desire to stop living anymore. I don't have the thoughts like life's not worth living, because I've actually found reasons to keep living. When I was coming back home, I was just really filled with joy. Normally, I would even feel really anxious by leaving my home, you know, the way I'm dressed, because I'm a skinny person, maybe not so skinny, but I'm pretty self-conscious about it, and it makes me even harder to leave home. It's a self-esteem issue, and normally I would not even leave my home, but I left my home because I was really determined to do it. And when I was coming back, I didn't feel anxious at all. I was just filled with joy, and I felt like I could even greet a stranger, something that I would never imagine myself doing. I even I even went past a pretty beautiful girl, and I almost stopped to talk to her just to chat, but I didn't do it. Uh, the social anxiety got the best out of me. But I felt like I was really feeling much better, than usual. Normally, I would not even leave my home, so that's really kind of a progress. And it's weird because it was because it's weird because all of this happened because of a pretty bad reason, right? But I was feeling happy when I was coming back to home. I still feel good. Maybe this feeling is the normalcy, the normalness that most people feel most of the time. I don't know, you know, but I am happy that I'm still around. It makes me sad that I even thought about doing it. I never thought I would reach such point, but I guess I just, for some reason, deep inside, I find life worth living, even if sometimes I want to disappear from existence. Deep inside, there's something that will always stop me from doing something really, really bad and harmful to myself. Something tells me that life is worth living, and I value myself in some aspects that make me feel like it's not worth, ending life. It's not worth for me or for my family. I know what I did made my family pretty desperate. I really know it, and I'm sorry, but I was suffering so much that it felt like that was the only option to really stop suffering. But I was really emotional, and it's usually not a good idea to make decisions when you are very, very emotional. Like, I was really sad and angry, so it's really not a good idea to make decisions when you are too angry or too sad. It's just not a good idea. You're not thinking straight, you're not thinking clearly. But then in the beach, when I was sitting there, I I was thinking very, very clearly, very, like, I was actually thinking straight, and thanks to that, I didn't do it. What I was gonna do it. I saw people in the streets as well, just laughing, having fun, playing with their children, and I could actually see joy in these situations. I just feel like the absence of something makes you learn about the value of that something. If you've always been happy, for example, eventually you're gonna get used to that feeling, and you're not gonna give as much value to it. While a person that is usually sad, when this person feels happiness, it, let's say that the happiness level is much bigger because it's an uncommon feeling. And what I did there was threat myself to not have life. And the feeling of the possible absence of life made me learn the value of life. And it's simple, it's nothing complicated, nothing mystical or magical or extremely hard to understand. It's simple. You just, whatever makes you feel good is good enough of a reason to keep living. Just like that. At least for me, that's the value of life. Honestly, it's just that sometimes life becomes unbearable. You might look at this whole video and think, hey, you have internet, you have computers, man, you have a webcam, you have a microphone, you have the fucking driving wheel behind you, you have a whiteboard, man. Like, how can you be sad? How can you be depressed or something? And honestly, all of this is worthless, man. It does make a difference. It does not make a difference at all. Like, objects are not gonna cure my social anxiety or my depression, especially unless my depression was because of lack of money, which is not. This is an argument that you see people talking sometimes. People say this argument sometimes that there are people in worse situations than you, people that suffer more than you, people that have been through much stronger traumas. And what does that mean? What do they mean with that? Do they mean that just because someone suffers more than me, I have no right to suffer? I am not allowed to suffer? If there's a kid in Africa that is right now hungry, maybe a kid just died because of hunger in a very poor part of the world, just because of that I have no right, I am not allowed to suffer. That's not the way it is. I can choose to not suffer. If I could, I would choose to be happy 24/7. I am sorry for the people that are suffering even more than me. I am sorry. I empathize with them. I understand. I really understand it. But that does not it does not invalidate the suffering that I go through. I feel like that argument is just as bad as the one that people say, hey, just be strong, snap out of the depression, man, just snap out of the social anxiety, just be strong, it's just a mind thing. Both arguments are equally bad, honestly, and they're made by people that don't understand it, either people that never studied the subject or people that never experienced it. And thanks to a friend I have, a friend that is in the health field, I now know that most people just don't understand it. They just don't understand it because they never studied about it, they never read about it. Maybe they heard sometimes in the TV, but it gets faded away inside their minds like most random information that shows up on the TV, and they never experienced it themselves. There are many cases of people that didn't believe depression was something actually real or serious until they had it themselves. It's that thing, sometimes humans need to hit rock bottom to really believe something is real, like kind of what happens with cigarette. There's a lot of people that don't really believe the warning signs that everybody knows about the smoking cigarette. Maybe they do know the cigarette will fuck up your health, but they just ignore it. They think it's not gonna happen. But when it happens, they stop smoking. They wait for the shit to happen to change, to actually believe the information they heard was true. That's what I think it happens with some people views on depression and anxiety, any kind of anxiety. So I know if you have depression, I know it might get really, really dark sometimes. It might get extremely complicated, almost unbearable to go through the day, to even get out of bed. I really know, I really, really know that. But before you decide to do anything stupid, like I almost did, just try to think of good reasons to live. Try to think of anything that makes you feel good, anything that you like doing or like feeling. Most people will definitely enjoy a walk in the middle of nature. So just give it a little try. Just try to go to the beach, like I did, not for the same reason, but go to the beach for just to be there, just to feel the wind, to feel the sun, look at the waves, listen to the waves crashing in the sand. Nothing extraordinary, just something simple. Just do that. Those little things might make you understand what I'm saying here, make you see the simple beauty that is in those things. I feel like usually the problem with depression is that you don't see a purpose in life, you don't see reasons to live. So try doing that, man. Sometimes simply looking at the sky when it's like a very beautiful sky, very open sky, it's very blue, not many clouds, or just a few clouds. Sometimes just looking at the sky is good enough to make you feel much better. Helping other people also makes you feel much better. There's something really good in altruistic acts, something that makes you feel good and proud of what you did. Helping others is a great way to feel better. And it can be in any form. Maybe you create a guide on the internet teaching people to do something. Just share your knowledge. I'm pretty sure you have knowledge of something you know very well, not necessarily very well like a super master expert, but knowledge of something you know about, and you can share somewhere on the internet, or physically say to someone, in person. Because believe me, not everyone knows everything. So there's definitely knowledge that you have that some other person don't have, and you can share this knowledge with that person, and you will be helping that person, and that person might say thank you to you, and this little thank you will make you feel really good about yourself because you did something good for someone else. One of the best things that you can do is definitely talk to a professional, a counselor, a therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist. This would be the best. It's not a possibility to me because of lack of money, but like if you can do it, do it, man. It's one of the best things I've done in the past when I had similar problems but I had money. About medication, I am very paranoid about it. I am scared of medication. Some people will say paranoid things too, sure, but the amount of people that were helped by antidepressants is much bigger than these people complaining about the side effects. And honestly, if my psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever, tells me that I need medication, I will honestly take it. I might have some side effects, some nausea, some I don't know, sleepiness, whatever. And if it's too bad, I just try another medication. If it's too bad again, I just try another medication, and another one, and so on, until I find a medication that works the best for me. But honestly, even if I cannot find a medication that doesn't have many side effects, which I find really hard, that most of the time people can find a medication that works very well for them, solves the problem, and doesn't create others, with the side effects. Even if I didn't find, I would still take the medication, I think, because I would rather live with some side effects of the medications than live with so much suffering and with social anxiety, which makes me unable to do anything in life, unable to live life, unable to study, to do college and study the things that I would like to study, work in the field that I would like to work, go out, make friends. And it's definitely a worthy trade-off. Some side effects for a better life, much better life. And man, if I had money, I would be talking to a psychologist right now, and possibly a psychiatrist. And if they told me to take an antidepressant, I would, but not possible to me yet. But maybe if maybe uh, I don't know. Maybe after some time it will be possible. Maybe next month. I don't know. It depends on my family. I cannot sustain myself. I cannot work in my situation. So I am dependent on other people, which is really annoying. I really hate being dependent on other people. And to be self-sufficient, you need to have a job, right? You just need to have a job, make your own money. But I am unable to do that. I just cannot. I can barely leave my home, dude. Imagine working. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about today. See you next time.